So, hi, Michaela. I was just
Hello.
saying to Michaela before I started the recording, I don't think I've ever actually seen her face, which is
It's
interesting. And this is one of the reasons why she's agreed to do a testimonial for me because she only did the Easter intensive course. She didn't have any one-to-one. She didn't come along to the regular Zoom sessions. It was just the Easter intensive. So this is a testimonial about how the Easter intensive course can change your A-level physics. So first question is, did you enjoy it?
yes. I mean, I think physics is like the kind of subject you take because you really do enjoy it. It's not something you want to force yourself to do. So it can be quite stressful when you're in that position of like, oh, I don't know, will I be able to scrape this grade? Are they going to ask me a wacky question that I don't know how to answer? But when you start to peel back the layers and look at the exam technique, I think you gain that confidence back. And with that comes you enjoy it again. You remember why you took the subject rather than,
Yeah,
oh, I
oh,
wish I could
wow,
drop this.
okay. That's really good. So what was it that made you join the course? There must have been something that you felt was
Yeah.
lacking in that run up to the exams. So what was it that made you seek out help?
It was the exam technique. I think this is true for a lot of people. And like you see people that go on the internet and they're like, don't take A level physics because they'll ask you horrible questions. And I was like, oh, okay, but I like physics. So what's,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it it really does feel like a safety net once you I because I was subscribed to your newsletter actually. So
Right.
I got the email. Um and I was scrolling through it. I was like, wow, actually this course is like everything that I was looking for to make my grade to make me feel more confident that I can get the grade that I want come June. And that was really what pushed me to pester my father about it.
Good, good. Well, that was good. Okay, so and then after the course, I mean, we did the course. It was 7 days, really
Yeah.
intensive stuff, 4 hours in a row. And actually, Michaela had some brilliant things to say. And as a result of what she said, I've changed how I'm going to do my new courses, intensive courses, on the back
Exciting.
of it, because she said that 4 hours of one in one go was just too much. But so well, I'm going to split it up a bit and do so tell us about the what your feelings were about mostly really the content of the course.
Yeah. So, oh, okay, good question.
Well, what you said in your feedback was the that you it was fun way to brush up the tougher bits of the course. You felt secure in your exam techniques,
Yeah,
lots to go away and think about. It was interactive, and the
absolutely.
6 markers was the best bit.
Yes. And I'm actually going to double back and say the electromagnetism session was really helpful as well. I think it's such a tricky topic, and
Yeah, I agree
yeah.
with you 100%. I think it's the hardest part of A-level physics is electromagnetic induction. Yeah.
And those are the ones they like to ask wacky questions about sometimes when they're
Yeah, they do
putting up those
weird stuff.
papers.
Yeah, they do weird stuff. They
Yeah.
don't they don't do a normal,
Oh,
electric
God forbid.
generator. They have like a weird coil that they move away from as an elect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like no. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always weird stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. So that was really helpful. And the 6 markers, I mean, you would not believe the way that my astrophysics 6 markers changed. Because, like, before I was like, oh, I don't even really know what they're asking me. But after we did that session and I really started to knuckle down and do the uncomfortable bit, which is like, don't look at the mark scheme, just try it, just try it yourself, use your brain. Yeah, I really started. I mean, I was getting like 2 3 marks maybe when I first started doing astrophysics papers, and I got right the way up to 5 and 6. Those last few papers that I did
Yeah,
before
because yeah,
exams.
you did the AQA, and
Yeah.
that's the where you get the 6 markers is in the
Yeah.
election topic. Yeah, and it's really quite interesting, isn't it, when you really understand the mark scheme, how it's a one-to-one
Yes,
relationship between
absolutely.
what they ask and what you've got to put. And I love what you said. I love what you said about the 6 marker thing which was it did make me giggle a bit because it felt very obvious when I got the hang of it. But there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, I mean, you look back on it and you're like, well, that is what they were asking me, so why is that not what I put?
Yeah.
But actually, it can feel quite layered when they're asking, and sometimes they phrase it quite strangely, but really, when you learn that the only thing you really need to do is understand what they're asking, it you start to like, oh, well, I know this.
Yeah,
This
it
is
is
stuff
written in
I learned.
English. It's a bit like studying Shakespeare. You look at it and you
Yeah.
go, "What on earth?" But it is written in English.
Yeah. You need to kick the translation in.
Yeah, it's just that you have to do enough of it that you go,
Yeah,
"Oh, actually,
absolutely.
that's what they're asking. That's what they're asking. That's what they're asking." And yeah, you get it. You get it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So right, this is the $1 million question then, really.
Oh, how exciting.
What difference do you think it made to your grade, if any?
Oh my god, such a okay, this is it's embarrassing to talk about even because before I would understand the content and even do practice questions for like on the content, like to active recall like what is a vector. Well, it has direction and magnitude, that's like a basic example, but that kind of thing, just to recall the information, I would get those questions right, and then I would try and do a past paper and it would be like, oh my god, I'm gonna get a B. This is like, and there's nothing wrong with getting a B, but it wasn't the grade that I wanted. I came into it, I was like, I want an A star. I This is an A star is what I'm gonna get. And I was doing these past papers and A star is not what I was getting. And then you would not believe the way that my grades and even just the pure marks on my past papers skyrocketed after the Easter course. I have like a spreadsheet of all of the marks that I really did. The only thing I overlooked was the date, but it's like paper one, paper two, paper three, and it's my marks that I get, and they go from like B 66%, 54%, which was that past paper went straight in the bin, to right the way up to like 80s, and even I got a 92 on one of them, and I was like, oh, well done me, well done me, you know. So that
There
was
you
really,
go.
yeah,
So, and that's 7 days. 7
yeah,
days. So,
yeah,
how long did it take you before your grades started to increase? Because you have to practice the
yeah,
skills.
yeah. Oh my god, um I would say I did a couple of past papers, and also the uncomfortable thing, which is like you go through the question pack and you pick out the questions that make you go, ah, I can't do that. And you sit and you make yourself do it without looking at the mark scheme, and then you look at the mark scheme and you're like, okay, well, that's not what I put. But yeah, I think probably like a few weeks. I think maybe two series of past papers that I was really like in the trenches for, and then I really did start to see that increase. It was like,
That's interesting because I always say 3 series before you can go up by
really?
grade. Yeah, that's what I usually say. If you can do like paper one, paper two, and paper three,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
3 years, that will push you up by grade. If you do look to see what you got wrong and fill in the holes in your knowledge, whether it's exam technique, which increasingly, I mean, as I get old in the tooth and I've now been teaching for 25 years, increasingly I'm thinking it's nearly always exam technique that is the problem.
Yeah.
Most people, because everybody that does physics, they're all really, really clever people. You don't choose to do A-level physics unless you were good at maths and physics
No.
at GCSE. And it's like, but nearly everybody that I speak to, they can't answer the questions. It's all
Yeah.
about exam technique. It's nothing about the concept. I mean, but there's some little bits of physics, like you said, the electromagnetic induction.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really hard. But and of course that builds on the electric circuits, and so there are some difficult bits. But actually, the thing that gets in most people's way is the exam technique. So,
Yeah.
and it's interesting that you said it only took you 2 rounds
I
of
did.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that walkthrough that we did in the course
Mhm.
really helped when we were breaking down the questions and you were going through them sort of very methodically, very step by step. I think it always helps me to watch someone else do the question. I'm a big walkthrough connoisseur because
Oh,
what am
it's
I going to
interesting.
get from a
I
mark scheme?
can't bear walkthroughs normally, and I
Really?
did it. Yeah, yeah. Right. There's a problem with walkthroughs. This is my personal view, but there's a problem with walkthroughs, which is that in a walkthrough, I usually you scroll through to the question you couldn't do, right?
Yeah.
And the person who's doing the walkthrough says, right, well, step one is this, and step two is this, and step three is
Mhm.
this, right? What's missing is the disconnect between what's written in the question and how you decide that this thing is what you got to
Just
do
what you're going to say, yeah.
to get to the answer. And there's a gap. So, and that was what I was trying to bridge when I did the
With ninja
walkthrough.
question analysis.
Yeah, exactly. In ninja question analysis, but also problem solving exposed. It was like,
Yes.
how do you do that gap? What the question
Yeah.
says, and how do you get to know what's going to be in the answer?
That was such a good session. There's loads
so,
of things I
so
didn't
yeah,
even
I don't
know
like
I didn't
walkthroughs
know.
in general.
Yeah. I was like, oh, the units thing has saved me so many times. The picking out the topic thing has saved me so many times. Looking for the thing that just nudges you in that direction. The flagging questions where they're like, look at this, and I'm like, okay, and now
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
when you're
yeah,
doing it point blank, just this is my first attempt ever. It's like, why are you saying these things? Why are you telling me this? I don't need to know that to do this question, but you do. You need
yeah,
to pay
yeah.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much of it, and I just think that most physics students they never get that exam technique kind of formally taught to them, so that there's so much of it that you're expected to absorb by osmosis and
You
somehow
just have to
give it
know.
it.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. And it can be taught, and it can be taught in a week,
yes,
and
absolutely.
and it takes then maybe a couple of weeks before you've kind of got it and
Yeah.
it's improved your grade.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're looking at 3 weeks, really, aren't we?
Key fact consequence.
Yeah, keep that consequence.
Yes,
You're
all
never
the
going to
time.
forget that ever, ever,
No,
ever, right?
no. And you know what? For other sciences, it's also really helpful. I can imagine people that do soft sciences like geography, psychology would find it helpful as well. But now, like every time I see it in a chemistry paper, I was like, oh, key facts consequence, because it can be a bit hit or miss with something like chemistry. I would say the papers are a bit easier, um, but it's still so helpful when you know actually what does that word mean. You're
Yeah,
not
what's the
sort of
structure? It's
guessing.
that scaffold for
Yeah,
how you structure your answer. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, well, thank you very much. Right, I've got one further thing to say, and that is that
Okay.
if you had some advice for yourself this time
Oh,
last year,
oh
what would
my
it
God.
be? Doesn't
Okay,
have to be about my course, just any advice that would be helpful to current year 12 doing A level physics.
okay. So I actually, well, I did mine weird. I did mine in 1 year, but I'm gonna put myself in the
Whoa,
shoes of December me. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it was. Well, I'm homeschooled, so I did all my A levels out of order. I did like maths last year, and then physics, chemistry this year, and then next year I'll do further maths biology. It'd be great. But so I'm actually like in year 12. I was filling out the year 13. I was giggling to myself. I was like, look at me,
Oh,
you're grown up.
wow.
But sorry, that's tangential. Um, I think it is a jump, definitely, especially when you're. I think that year 13 first term is really tough because the content ramps up and you've got the year 12 content to think about and you're doing university applications and you're writing a personal statement and you're doing like driving lessons and this, that, the other, and everything you were doing before, you still have to be doing it. I think the best thing you can do over summer is take time out and don't be actively doing past papers. Like take 2 or 3 weeks where you don't look at it, then come back to it. Don't overlook the AS papers like me. Don't make my mistake, which was to cram them all in before the exam, before paper one. The AS papers are really helpful, and I wouldn't actually recommend doing them throughout the course of year 12. I would recommend doing it in that first term
Of
of
year
year
13.
13 and sort of creeping up into Easter as well. And the sooner you get those finished, the sooner you can move on to the paper ones. by which point you've already learned like simple harmonic motion, circular motion, so you know what you're doing. Um, and then that sort of bleeds into the step up, I think, and you get used to, okay, what does a year 13, a full A level paper look like? And then when you go to do your paper two, it's like, okay, I know this. The content is different, but I've done this kind of thing before. And same with paper three also. Don't ignore your practicals. Don't ignore paper three. If there's one thing you do at the start of year 13, make it a paper three. At least a paper 3A if you haven't done your option topic yet. Please don't ignore your practicals. It's so easy to be like, oh, it's just common sense. It's not. Some of it is like, okay, yes, set square, whatever. The ball is too heavy. You need to keep the center of mass down. But some of it you really do like pay attention to maths, pay attention to the practicals you do, and please revise your practicals. That's it for me, I think.
Wow, okay, really useful stuff.
Yeah.
Really useful stuff. Right, well, thank you so, so much. I really, really
Thank you for
appreciate
having me.
that. And please stay in touch. I'd love to know how you get on.
Absolutely. I will, don't worry, on results day I'll be sending you a quick.
Yes, please. And what are you going to go on to do? Have you got a plan? Or are
I'm
you
looking
doing your, sounds like you're going to do further maths next year.
Yeah, I just really like maths. I don't think I need it, but I would like to do it. And biology as well, because I like the subject, but also the problem solving I think is really, really
So
applicable.
you can't decide what you want to do, is that it?
No, well, I'm looking at like investment banking and finance, a bit of economics right now, but I'm looking at degree apprenticeship actually with Goldman Sachs. So fingers crossed. But
There's
yeah, I
nothing
think
right.
definitely
Honestly,
something math.
apprenticeships. I mean, I think that they're, you get a job, you don't
Yeah.
get any tuition debt, you end up with a degree
And
and
that's what
a
we all
job at
want,
the end
really,
of
isn't
it,
it?
and it's kind of like, what's not to like? I mean,
Yeah,
it just makes
yeah,
sense. So,
absolutely.
and yeah, physics lends itself to
Yeah.
that because there's all
I
the
think so.
finance and all of the engineering ones as well. So,
Yeah. And it's the graphs as well. You get really good. I think physics is really good at
data manipulation and stuff.
yeah, yeah. And just making you take math stuff like logarithms as well. You put it into something that is actually like I can see on the paper this is something that I could do and now I can see it on the paper and now I understand what is a logarithm? Why do I need to know about it? Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, right. Well, thank you so, so much, Michaela. I'm going to stop the recording.